Hello and welcome to my 2013 Honda Accord Coupe EXL V6 6-speed, and in this video we'll be going over many of the features on the car and going over some technical data and just taking a good detailed look at the vehicle and really getting to know it. So let's go ahead and get started. Here in the front, the Accord actually comes standard on the Coupe models, at least, with halogen headlights, but mine has 8,000 Kelvin HIDs as well as yellow fog lights, kind of for that JDM look. Looks really nice. You also have LED running lights in the front. There's a bit of chrome here and there in the bottom of the bumper and around the grille, so it kind of spices things up a little bit, but the really aggressive fog light openings give this car kind of a sporty look from the front. And moving along to the side here, we get a good look at the kind of profile of the vehicle. This color is called San Marino Red, and it's a color Honda's been using for many years. I really like it because it kind of has two personalities. On its own, it's a nice, fiery, vibrant red, but up against other red vehicles, it takes on kind of a darker tone, and it looks more sophisticated and more classy. So that's what I really like about this color, is it kind of has those two different personalities. Another thing I really like about this car is there's kind of a body line that starts at the fender, and it goes through the door, and then it ends in the rear fender and kind of vanishes a little bit, and then it comes back into the body lines here when you come around to the tail light. It looks really, really nice, and it curves up as you go into the deck lid. Looks really cool, I think. There's also chrome trim around the windows, and it has chrome door handles as well. And here we are at the back of the car. Looks pretty standard here, but you do have the dual chrome exhaust outlets, and this piece of trim here along the bumper is usually chrome, but I had it painted red. I think it gives kind of more emphasis to the exhaust tips, giving it that sportier look. There's also just standard Accord V6 badges on the rear, and there is a deck lid spoiler you can buy from Honda, but this one doesn't actually have it. But still, with the way that the body line curves up, it has a little bit of a lip there. And the Accord EXL V6 Coupe has 18x8 alloy wheels, and they have some gray painted accents on the inside of the spokes. Look really nice. The bolt pattern is 5x114.3, and I believe this is a positive 55 offset. I hope I'm saying that right. Most of these Accord Coupes that you'll see have the Michelin Primacy MXM4, and it is a 235/45 R18. Some of these I have seen with Goodyear Eagle LS2s, so if you're looking to buy one of these, definitely try to get the Michelins, but if you can't, it's not the end of the world. Alright, there was a look at the outside, so let's step inside the car, start it up, and take a look at some of the features. Now this is the key for the Accord V6, and it has your standard lock, unlock, trunk, and panic buttons, and if you just have the key in your pocket, the doors will open as soon as you touch the handle. So if we just open it, it would unlock. It's already unlocked, but if it was locked, it would unlock as soon as you touch the handle, and you can open up the door. This color is paired only with the black leather interior. Looks really nice with the LED dome lights I have installed, and there's a splash of silver trim here and there. Here on the door panel we have a small speaker up top, and then we have a soft padded portion here along the top. We also have this trim that has like a black and silver pattern on it. There's a silver piece of trim here. Do you have memory seats? The door handle feels pretty nice. You also have power windows that are automatic up and down, window lock, door lock, and you also have the mirror controls right there as well. Now to start the car, just put your foot on the clutch and push the start button. Over here to the left of the steering wheel we have the Econ button, lane departure, and then we also have the traction control on and off switch. Then down here in this little crevice of sorts is the button to reset the tire pressure monitoring system. So you would just hold that down for a couple of seconds until the light flashes on the dashboard, and that would reset the tire pressure monitoring. We also have the turn signal stalk over here, which has all of the lighting controls. So it's in the automatic position now, and you can turn off and on the fog lights as well. There's a button here on the end of the stalk, which I'll show you in just a minute. And the wiper controls are located here on the other side. You can see it does have the variable intermittent speed, and you pull it towards you to wash the windshield. The gauge cluster has a nice red and white theme to it. These sort of bars on the outside of the speedometer will glow will glow green when you're driving efficiently, and then they'll turn white when you're driving it hard. But I have it set to just be white all the time. You have the tachometer on the left side and your temperature and fuel gauge on the right. The display in the middle here is actually pretty cool. So it has the instant miles per gallon, which isn't very accurate because it's instantaneous. Then you have the mileage, and then you have the tripometer, which we can switch to range, average fuel economy. We have trip B, average fuel economy and distance. We have the oil life, and then we can go back to the main screen there. It also has the temperature gauge in the bottom there, which shows the outside temperature. It has a 4-spoke leather-wrapped steering wheel. Just has regular black stitching, and it has a nice feel to it. There's some side grip extensions on the side. You also have the audio controls here, Bluetooth, and the cruise control. And this button right here will actually change the middle display there. So if we push it, it has a current drive fuel economy display. And if we push it again, it has history. So this will give us our last few trips in the car based on how the tripometer is reset. Then we also have a screen here where you can set a wallpaper, and you can also change the clock style. So I found this wallpaper that goes with this clock style, so you can have that display, and then pushing it again will bring us right back to the audio screen. Now pushing that button on the end of the turn signal stock, or just turning on the right turn signal, will display the camera that's located in the passenger side mirror. Really helps you see what's in your blind spot, especially when you're on the highway and there's lots of traffic. It's a great feature to have. Now the audio system is kind of devised of 2 screens really. You have your CD slide in the middle, and if we turn it on, the presets will display here, and everything else will display up there. There's a number of different sources. You have FM, AM, XM, but we also have a CD player and USB. There's an iPod input as well, Bluetooth, and we also have a very basic Pandora app which utilizes Bluetooth as well, but you can thumbs up and down the songs, change the station. It's pretty cool. So we have 2 pages of presets here, which we can switch back and forth. We also have a shortcut to the phone controls, but my phone isn't paired with the car right now. We'd have speed dial and call history right there. Then pushing the clock and screen button brings up a number of different settings for the audio screen. It's pretty cool. Then located just below the audio screen is the climate control. Now all of these Accords will have automatic climate control that's dual zone, so you can adjust the temperature here on the side. I have it synced right now, so both sides are adjusting as one zone. You also have the auto button, which will automatically maintain the temperature that you have it set at. It will vary the fan speed and the temperature of the air coming out of the vents to maintain that specific temperature. But if you wanted to manually override it, you have your fan speed here. You can switch the different modes. And you can also manually turn off and on the air conditioning as well as the recirculation. We have the rear defrost and heated mirrors right there, as well as the front defrost. Now if this car had navigation, we would not have this storage bin. This would be where all the controls for the navigation would be, but it's not equipped with that, so we have a little bit of storage here. It doesn't go back too deep, and it's not very tall, but it's better than nothing. You have a small storage cubby here as well, along with your power outlet, USB, and auxiliary inputs. Now here in the Accord, the front seats are heated. You have 2 modes on each side. Then we have a leather-wrapped shift knob in the middle for a 6-speed manual transmission. It runs through the gears pretty nicely. And we have reverse, and when you put it into reverse, the backup camera displays. There's 3 different views you can have. There's this view, there's kind of a wide-angle view, and there's also top-down, which is pretty cool. We have a manual hand-operated parking brake. We have a couple of cup holders here as well. Opening up the center console, you can see it's a decent size. It's not super huge, but there's a power outlet in there, and there's enough space to throw a few things in there, as you can see I've done. And then up top we have a leather-wrapped armrest with this sort of stitching that runs through the middle. We also have Home Link here, and we have the controls for the power sunroof. It doesn't open up super wide, but it's obviously better than no sunroof. Then you can just leave the shade open if you want, or close it completely. There's a sunglasses holder here as well, and you can turn off and on the dome lights right there. There's also a red light here that shines down on the console to give you more lighting at night. Now the back seat of the Accord is pretty decent for a car of its size, and being that it's a coupe, the entry isn't too terrible. It's all leather, of course, and there's armrests on both sides. The driver's seat only tumbles forward. The seat doesn't actually move unless you manually move it here. So the access on the driver's side isn't great, and on the passenger side the seat moves forward quite a bit more, but it doesn't return to the same position it was previously in. So it can be difficult to get passengers in and out of the back seat. Got a few things thrown in here now, so it'll give you some idea of the size of the seat. Now we can open up the trunk actually 3 ways on the Accord, with the button on the door sill, or with the release button on the remote, or there's one more way. As long as the key fob is within a certain range of the vehicle, there's a small black button right here that you can push that will pop the trunk. And you can see the trunk is a pretty good size, and the wheel wells intrude a little bit more than I'd like, but the rear seat does fold down, so you can give it can give you that extra space if you need that. There is a regular size spare tire in here. It's not like a full size, but it's at least a spare tire, whereas a lot of cars are going to those repair kits, so that's nice to have. And here on the passenger side of the Accord, we'll take a quick look in the glove box here. It is not really dampened very well, and it's not very wide. But it does give you some storage space, as you can see, just not a lot. Now before we take a look at the engine, I want to show you one of my favorite features on the Accord. You have the key fob here, and if we double tap the unlock button, it will open the windows and the sunroof. So if the car's been sitting outside for a while on a hot day, as you're walking out to it, you can just double tap that unlock button and hold it, and it will open up all the windows and the sunroof to kind of vent out the car. How cool is that? Now under the hood of the Accord, we have one of the best parts of this car. It's Honda's J35Y2 engine. It's a 3.5 liter V6, and it has 4 valves per cylinder, and it's single overhead cam. It makes 278 horsepower in this vehicle. And if you get the automatic transmission, you actually have variable cylinder management, which allows the engine to run on 3, 4, or all 6 cylinders, depending on how much of the engine's power is required. However, the manual transmission car doesn't have that. It's always running on all 6 cylinders. It takes 0W20 oil, 4.5 quarts, and the transmission is located right kind of inside here underneath the battery and the air filter. It's a 6-speed manual, as I mentioned before. And as far as the maintenance on this car goes, very simple services are extremely easy to do, which is nice. The drain plug for the transmission is located on the side. The fill plug is right up top here, and you can see there's very easy access to the engine oil dipstick as well as the oil fill cap. The oil filter is actually located in the wheel well, and it's kind of right behind the brakes actually. So everything's pretty easy to get to as far as routine maintenance on this car. So there was our full detailed tour of the 2013 Honda Accord EXL V6 6-speed coupe in San Marino Red. If there's anything else on this car that you'd like to see, or if you have any questions about the car, just put a comment below.